Madiha Sebbani, مرحبا بك. Welcome to the Invoice Conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm doing as well as I could, considering everything that's going on in this world. But the question is, how are you doing? Because I know you're in London, and you guys have this new variant of COVID-19 that's basically shutting down everything. Your timing to move to London couldn't have been better.
Absolutely. Well, I experienced the lockdown in Morocco, and now it's the lockdown in London. So I think it's just an experience. I can't describe it more than that. I keep working as I did in the beginning of the year 2020, and now we are 1 year ahead, and I'm still adapting to the same manners of working.
Yeah. Well, Madiha, first things first, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where did you grow up, and what was your childhood like?
I was born and raised in Saleh City.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for people who doesn't know it, it's just close to Rabat. And I was raised in a family of 6 siblings, so it was like a big family. And I had my, education with my family. And then when I was 19, I moved to Tetuan to do my graduation of fine arts. And that was actually the longest period when I really disappeared kind of from Rabat Saleh region. And I was more focused on how to be independent and how to work as an artist. And I was kind of trying to figure out my career somehow. Basically, I chose to be an artist, and it was a conscious decision because I felt that that's how I can be, and that's what I was dreaming of. It was a dream and not only just a desire. And yeah, that was all in all my life. And also the interesting part of my childhood was in a military base. And I think that's why also in my artworks you will see these aspects of army uniforms, some of the connotations of authority. This came along with me as as an education, as a paradigm somehow.
That's actually a great segue to my next question. So, Madiha, last time I saw you in New York, it was a few months before the pandemic, although it feels like 20 years ago, as we can all relate. And I remember, if I can recall, you had so much passion that you poured into your artwork. And I remember vividly telling you that your artwork was different, it was unique. You tend to have this freedom in expressing your artwork by not being boxed into one category. You use different disciplines, different mediums, whatever it takes to get your message across, to get people thinking. So as a contemporary artist, what does your work aim to question? Because personally, I grew up in Morocco, and to your point earlier, some of your work is based on your experience. It just made me think a lot. I had this nostalgic feeling. So tell us a little, if you can elaborate a little more on that.
Yeah, as you said, I work with different mediums of expression. And I can tell you that my work is very controversial because I can jump from photography to performance art. And sometimes I will just switch off and go to the classic academic way of making art, such as drawing, painting. And I was choosing this way of being an artist, working with different mediums, because I like freedom, and I really didn't want to focus just on one expression, because this will limit me when I have the feeling and the anxious to work with another medium, then probably the audience will question, why is this artist changing her mediums and why is she not being consistent? And I have a problem to be consistent on one medium or a form. When I say medium, is more a form of making an art piece. So basically, what I'm questioning with my art is more the aspects of authority, power, what comes to a group of people, a society, community, to lead them. And I think this, as I said, came from my childhood, and I was very much into this nostalgia, as you said, because I felt that I had a leader in the house, and I had also a role in the house.
Yep.
So you live for a purpose, and you have always to be focused. Otherwise, there will be someone behind you and tell you, hey, you're losing your path, you have to do it this way or that way. And I knew that traditions, the system, education, religion, all of that are aspects of power, and they are leaderships. So I felt that these are my platforms that I can just explore with my art, and I feel more real when I talk about them or when I work related to them, because that's me, and I cannot really deny it or change it.
Incredible, incredible. So also, you're a curator, aside from being an artist. We know that doing both is very rare in the art industry. I mean, being a curator, it takes a completely different set of skills, from the entrepreneurship aspect, the amount of networking that it requires, the directing aspect. So as a curator, what is your motivation there? And what would you like to bring new to that scene?
I know first that it's hard to do both, because there will be so much judgments later on from, again, the audience, or whoever is receiving my art or my image will question, why is she being a curator and an artist at the same time? And this is part of my controversial work as well. I can say it's part of it, and I'm supporting my work and other artists' work by being a curator. So my motivation as a curator is to bring something out of the ordinary, something that my generation would dream of to be in the scene. I try to also project my vision in curatorial in different scenes. For example, I had an exhibition that I curated in London, in Germany. That was also the main reason to come to the US, because I wanted to organize a young Moroccan artist exhibition at the Smithsonian Museum.
Which, Madiha, sorry to interrupt. I just want you to touch on that really quickly. That was something you founded, correct? Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. So basically, my motivation is to create something out of the ordinary and to connect different countries and different artists, galleries, institutions. And I really want to be the mediator who will connect them all together.
Amazing, amazing. Madiha, what inspires you? What connection do you have to your art?
It might be funny if I can tell you that my first inspiration wasn't authority and my childhood, like I'm saying it now, because it took time to become mature and to decide what really inspires me. But main inspiration was philosophy. So I was reading a lot about philosophy, and basically it was books and reading. Of course, I'm also very visual, so I have to see things. I have to see images, pictures, go and visit places, and get inspired by history. So I can say philosophy, psychology, sociology are the main and the headlines of my inspiration.
Nice, nice. So you've had a successful professional journey so far. People refer to you as the ambassador of the Moroccan art. You've helped celebrate and promote Moroccan art and globally in a way. And what's fascinating watching you over the past 2 years or so, you were able to also to pivot during the pandemic by curating online exhibition and moving into the online world. So tell us a little bit about the most exciting and transitional happenings in your career.
I think the most exciting moments I lived in my career, the first thing was actually to convince my family to be an artist. That was the first thing. And the second one was when I graduated. 1 year later, I went to Germany. I was invited to attend New Talents Biennale in Cologne, in Germany, and I was really supported by the Fullwerkswagen Kunstraum. I know it's a tongue breaker, but it's the name of the institution that was inviting me. That was really transitional because it was the first time leaving my country and going abroad, seeing a different art scene, a different world also, and connect with artists who will do the same thing probably like I did in Morocco as performance artists or as contemporary artists. And later on, I can say that the next exciting happening was when I came here to London the first time, and I was curating this exhibition for Moroccan artists. So it's hard to choose, your art scene and to go like this, like a wild artist that just go and express.
Incredible.
I think it's a lot of risk, but nothing can be more exciting than the challenge, I think.
How is your art scene perceived in general? I mean, because a lot of it is based on your experience, and that's in Morocco, right? And so how is your art perceived in general when you go to these different countries?
As a big headline called madness. So I can tell you that the first thing I heard when I was performing in the public space was, "She is crazy," or "She is ill." So I think these were like the descriptions. However, I like it so much because that was the main point to just give, or I can say give birth to something outside the usual and outside the ordinary. That's when we are not used to something, we kind of discriminate it and describe it as madness. So whatever is bizarre is madness somehow.
Yeah, and it makes us think. It gets us to think deeply, and so kudos to you. Now, from your perspective, what are we missing in the art scene, and particularly in Morocco, and how can we call the change?
I think what we are missing in Morocco, the first thing is how to include in the education, in schools, and in families' education. How can we include the the general idea of contemporary art, of art in general. Also, what we are missing is our art and our art history. I mean, the Moroccan one and the Arab history to be taught in schools instead of the Western. I'm not saying that the Western is bad or good. Who am I to judge? But I'm just saying that it has to be parallel and it has to be a part of the education. We cannot deny it. I think that's what frustrates me more is education. The other thing that is missing is how can we support the young potential without considering their experience. Because when we come to an artist's career, an artist has to start from zero. An artist has to start from zero. We can't really blame them about their experience. For how long have you been an artist, and who do you know? Who has been supporting your art? Whose gallery is that? No, we should look at the potential of the artists, their ideas, and try to
embrace that experience.
Exactly.
Because art comes from,
yeah, the growth comes from that.
Yep.
You know, it's a give and take.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be just give. It's a give and take. Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more. So Madiha, we're going to move a little bit into a little bit of a different question here. So I'm sure you've learned recently about the normalization of relations between Morocco and Israel. I want to ask you on your expectations there and hope. And in the same token, like, what do you foresee any new collaboration to bring new exhibitions of Moroccan contemporary art to Jerusalem or Tel Aviv or vice versa?
Yeah, I think the normalization between Morocco and Israel is a great opportunity to bring new debates, new exchanges between the two countries. Second thing, culture is the best platform for that, I think. It's the best soft power that we can use to connect and to bring something new. Of course, I was working lately on an idea that I will keep as a surprise for this year. There is this world famous artist from Tel Aviv who is a photographer that I really want to invite him to show his work here in London, and why not later on in Morocco. And this way we can do an introduction to photography in Tel Aviv and photography in Morocco, and what kind of subjects we're bringing together. There is also this great news that I am part of the Gala Peace of the Heart and People in Jerusalem in April this year, which will be, of course, inviting some people who everybody might know, from politicians to artists, such as the 12 times world famous kickboxing Mustafa Al-Ghassan.
Yes,
will
and
be part of it.
We've actually had him on the show a few weeks ago. He's an incredible inspiration for. He's I think recently he's going to I think he's involved in politics as well now, and really trying to push some social change and things of that nature. Yeah. Exactly.
So I'm very glad to be part of it in April in Jerusalem. Yeah, so I'm very positive and I'm very excited. Looking forward to it.
Great. So just for the viewers, what is the gala called? Just so they can keep an eye on it.
the gala is called Peace of the Heart and People.
Incredible, incredible. We're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to seeing you there as well and seeing what comes out of it. This is incredible. How do you define success, Madiha, as an artist? Also as a person, do you think you're fully there? And what more do you hope to accomplish?
It's hard to define success, you know, for everyone. But for me, success as an artist depends on your consistency, how far you want to be an artist in the future, and also your connections. Who you want to collaborate with counts. Who is your audience counts. Where are you showing your work counts. So all these components for me are the key success of an artist or a curator as well. I can't really say that I am there yet, because I'm still thirsty to achieve more, to see more things. I think I am still in the challenging time, but this question is more to ask. For example, the people who knows my work, probably they will have a different approach to it, but I can tell that success for me is still ahead, but this is something I'm working on, and I'm trying to do my best to accomplish a lot of things, such as getting a gallery, in more in my name more known around, get, for example, like a good studio where I can work and explore more my dimension as an artist. So all of that is something that I am trying to build, and I think that's why I'm here also in London as a global talent, so I can do this.
Incredible. We're coming to an end here. One more question left here, and that is, so Madiha, there is a grassroots movement in Morocco to affect change in the youth and women empowerment. We're seeing these great initiatives, from organization at the local, regional, national, and even at the international level. In some respect, it's really driving some of the social change we're witnessing today. What role does your artwork play in transforming and reimagining a better Morocco for the youth and women?
I think my artwork is contributing to this growth and empowerment for women and youth in Morocco. Simply resides in how I represent Morocco outside, and how I will also deliberately deliver an image of an independent woman, artist, curator outside Morocco. And I think this is that's the image we need, and it's international platform to not to copy, but to probably to adapt as an icon, if I can be an icon in the future. So I think that's my contribution to the growth of women and youth in Morocco.
Thank you, Madiha. Thank you for coming on the show. Tabarakallah alik. Inshallah, inshallah, we hope to have you back. And again, congrats on all your successes in the art world. To everyone watching, until next time.